Going to the sun. So I envision a future in which I'm not saying we can live on the sun, obviously. I don't foresee a time when we can ever do that, but I do foresee a time when we can get quite close to the sun. We've already had solar probes and harness the energy to incredible power and maybe beam it back to Earth or whatever the technology is at the time. It's been said that 1 hour of sunlight already on Earth is enough power, if we could harness it, to power the entire world's energy needs for an entire year. And we're like, I think about, we're about, I think, around 93 million miles from the Earth. So if we were like from the sun, if we were, right at the sun, people say fusion is kind of like putting the sun in a box. We're much closer on fusion because I've been studying it, and they say it's always 30 years off, but the amount of improvements already brings us order of magnitudes much closer than we ever were before. I don't know how many years we are off from fusion, but they say the Q coefficient is now 0.67, meaning that when it gets to 1, it means that you're getting as much energy out as you're putting in. But we've never gotten there before. It's been like only a small fraction of it, but now it's getting close. It's getting close to the point of where we're getting as much energy out as we're putting in. And there's a few promising technologies. One is lasers, and there's a couple others to accelerate that. So a couple of different things. One is that people say, how are we going to harness the sun when we can't even control the weather here on Earth? I mean, it's true that we don't control the weather here on Earth, but we can basically adapt to it and live anywhere on the planet. There's even people living in Antarctica. And when you think about the amount of the Earth, there's people that are living in submarines, I think, near the bottom of the ocean. I don't know if it's quite at the bottom, but it's pretty far down. It might be at the bottom. And when you think that people can live basically anywhere on the whole Earth, that I don't know if people can live on the top of Mount Everest yet, but people have gotten there for brief periods. If we had a company like SpaceX that wanted to colonize Mount Everest, I'm sure we could do it. I'm sure we could build a colony on the top of Mount Everest and just build the kind of housing that we need to do it if we put the resources into it. So Earth is basically conquered. There's a lot of stuff still here to do here. We have to clean up the planet. And, people say, eventually we're going to terraform Mars. I've been studying that a little bit. There's a lot that goes into it. It's not as easy as it sounds. Maybe it'll take 100 years. Maybe it'll take 50. Maybe it'll take 500. But it's not going to take 10,000 years to terraform Mars. So, in a few hundred years or maybe 1,000, Mars will be terraformed, and then we'll start going out into the galaxy. So, we've already landed a probe on Venus that survived for, I think, 9 or 10 minutes, something like that. And that was many years ago. I think the Russians did it, I'm not sure. But we've had probes that have left the galaxy, the Voyager. Not the galaxy, that would be good, but the solar system, beyond Pluto, and I think the Oort cloud is called or whatever. I'm not sure exactly how far out it is. I think it's 21 billion miles or something like that. We've had probes to Pluto, to Jupiter, to the moons of to Titan, which is one of Jupiter's moons, I believe, and throughout the solar system. So basically, we're getting a map of the solar system. Soon we'll have a whole constellation of way stations. Either we'll be refueling from asteroids or whatever. So, once Mars has a colony, then, and I don't know exactly how long that will take. Some people have said that Elon Musk plans to put 1 million people on Mars in 40 or 50 years time. The first people are traveling to Mars scheduled for 2 years. Musk is always behind schedule, but he gets the stuff done. It might take a little bit longer than expected, but Tesla and SpaceX are for real. You got the reusable rockets, you got Tesla going crazy in a positive way. So I do envision, as we're traveling around the solar system, and as we're kind of hopping from one stop to another, that eventually the sun's energies, and I don't know exactly what what the transport system is of how we're going to harness, even if we can capture or direct. I mean, maybe we'll capture the sun's energies, and maybe we'll just direct it. Maybe there'll be like a giant laser or something that beams it to Earth in a concentrated form. I mean, that's kind of what solar panels do now. You have like, 100 or 1,000 solar panels, and then you have a mirror that collects the energy. I mean, if we had a mirror that didn't burn up, maybe it was facing away from the sun or something. I don't know. I mean, I'm not a scientist, but I'm just thinking on the macro level, the 40,000 foot level. If we could get close enough to the sun that we could harness the energy and beam it or capture it, if we had like a battery that could actually or a series of batteries that were connected, or some other technology that could harness it and beam it in a concentrated form like we have solar arrays now, back to Earth or back to Mars or, wherever we need it, then it would be pretty amazing.